Hello and welcome to Creature Features. Even a man who is pure of heart and says his prayers by night may become a wolf when the wolfsbane blooms and the autumn moon is bright. Yes, it's back to the Universal Monsters for 1941's The Wolfman. This is another classic of the genre, matching up the high standards set by a lot of their earlier efforts. It tells the story of Larry Talbot, who returns to his family home in Wales where he meets a young woman and takes her out, only to see her friend getting attacked by a wolf. While trying to save her, in the struggle, the wolf is killed by a silver-headed cane and Larry is bitten. The next day, the bite is gone, and there's no wolf, only the body of a man. Soon, Larry turns into a wolfman, and now everyone he cares for is in danger. This film is great. There's so much to love here. The excellent atmosphere with the rolling fog, great performances from the likes of the Invisible Man / Phantom of the Opera Claude Rains as Larry's father, although he's only 7 years older than him. There's Dracula / Igor / Frankenstein's monster Bela Lugosi as the fortune teller Bela, showing his range there. And of course there's Dracula's son Alucard / Karis the Mummy / also Frankenstein's monster Lon Chaney Jr. as the Wolfman. Each of them does a great job and brings some real gravitas to the film. And it's always cool to see a collection of the all-time great monster actors put together like this. And as monsters go, the Wolfman is pretty cool. Stalking through the night, killing via strangling, because mauling would probably have been a bit much for 1941. He's marked with a pentagram, and he sees it in the hand of his next victim, which is definitely some provocative imagery. In terms of looks, he's human enough to be relatable, but monstrous enough to be menacing, by 1941 standards at least. Obviously it has aged a bit. What makeup effect from that period hasn't? Well, apart from that one. And that one. Okay, now you're pushing it. Me. Okay, this is an oddly ill-conceived bit. The point is the makeup's really good, created by the legendary Jack Pierce. Pierce worked for Universal for years, creating the makeup for the Frankenstein films and The Mummy, so by the time he came to work for the Wolfman he was a dab hand at this stuff. It was here that he finally started using latex pieces that would make some of the grueling process easier. Though allegedly Pierce and Chaney had a lot of animosity for each other, the two created an iconic monster that is still enjoyable to watch to this day. But what interests me is that this wasn't the first time Universal tried to make a werewolf movie. In 1935 they made the film Werewolves of London, starring Henry Hall. But this was considered a bit too similar to 1931's Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde for many at the time, and flopped at the box office. Which I find kind of weird because there's a moment in The Wolfman, when Larry is first transforming and his vision starts spinning, we see images of his thoughts flashing across the screen, blurring into one another. This is exactly like a scene out of Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde when he first transforms. It's so much like it that it's impossible not to notice, so it's strange that the earlier film was chastised for being too similar and considered a failure, when the later film copies something from it directly and is a pretty big success, with the character appearing in several sequels and even getting a remake a few years ago. I don't feel like I have much more to say about this one. It's one of those films where it feels like everything that can be said has been said by people more articulate and knowledgeable than me. I know this makes a short video, but I mean, it's the Wolfman. It's going to be remembered for a long time no matter what anyone says about it. So, that's The Wolfman. A Universal Monsters film chock full of some of their greatest performers, outstanding makeup and some really memorable moments. This is one that anyone with an interest in the classics of the genre should check out, and honestly anyone else might just want to check out too. So, until next time, this has been Creature Features.
Werewolves of London. Werewolves of London.
It's the gypsy fortune teller.
And the man that killed him.